Good morning. Today we are going to learn about box and whisker plots. This is chapter 10, lesson 2b, and the objective for today is to display and interpret data in a box and whisker plot. Before we start that though, let's do some quick recap of what we saw yesterday in our class. So a quick recap. Median. Median is the middle number of an entire set. Every time we have a set of numbers, median is the number that's going to be right in the middle of the set. The upper quartile is the median or the middle number of the upper half. The lower quartile is the median or the middle number of the lower quartile. The greatest and the least values are the biggest and the smallest numbers in our set. The range. Range is the greatest number minus the smallest number. So I find the difference between the greatest number and the smallest number. The interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So once I found the upper quartile and lower quartile, which are medians, what do? I subtract the upper one from the lower one, and I find the interquartile range. And then finally we have the outlier. The outlier is the number that is really much smaller or much larger than the median. They are usually easily spotted because, they are different from the rest of the data. But there is one mathematical way of finding it. And we saw that yesterday in our class. But let's just review. So first we have to multiply the interquartile range by 1.5. Then we add this number that we found to the upper quartile and subtract the same number from the lower quartile. The outliers will be the smaller and the greater numbers than this result. So if you have any numbers that fall before the outlier for the lower quartile or that fall after the upper quartile, then yes, those are the outliers. So let's see, the box and whisker plots, we're going to see that today. It is also probably you have seen that already in 6th grade, but we're just going to see that again now in a little bit deeper. So box and whisker plot is one way to graph the information that we just saw. So it's a way of graphing the median, the upper quartile, the lower quartile, the range. So that's a way of graphing that. And how do we graph it? We graph it using the number line. So it is very important to remember how to use the number line. So the information that we obtain or that we get from the data, it is going to be represented using the number line. So here we go. This is the vocabulary, or this is how we are going to represent our new information. So this here is our number line. This one here has no numbers just because I am showing you the vocabulary. So number line. What we have here in our number line is the first information we find usually is the median. So the information, when we find the median of our data, of our set of data, we mark it right here in our number line. Then we find lower quartile and upper quartiles, and we mark those two numbers as well. One here, one here. So we have already 3 information here. Then what do we need? The lowest number in our set. We come and we mark it over here. The highest or the biggest number in our set as well. We come and we mark them here. So for the 3 numbers in the middle, we build a box. One part here representing one type of data. Another part of here represented cut by the median. These two here, these 2 points that we found, the lowest number and the highest number, we connect them to our box. And this here are whiskers. So the box and the whiskers. So the width of the box from here to here shows the interquartile range. So it is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. This much here is the interquartile range. So when we look at this, we see now where all those numbers fall, why we saw all those numbers yesterday. So each quartile represents 25% of the data. So 25, 25, 25, 25. So let's see how we use this, how we build it. So first we are just going to find the numbers again, and then we are going to build the box and whisker plot. So the first thing we see here is find the measures of variation in the set of data below. Then create a box and whisker plot. Here's my data. 1, 2, 2, 6, 8, 8, 9, and 23. So the first step, write all the measures. So I need to find all this information here so I can put that in my box and whisker plot. So let's see, the median. How do I find the median again? It is the middle of the entire set. So let me get the marker here. My set has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So I don't have one number that is just in the middle. I have to go find, I got to 2 numbers in the middle. So once I get those 2 numbers, I have to find the median. How do I do that? This way here. I do 6 plus 8 divided by 2, which gives me the number 7. So 7 is the number that is right here, and that represents the middle of my information. So my median here is 7. The upper quartile. The upper quartile is what? The median of the upper half. Remember, upper is just because those are the higher numbers, and lower is just because those are the smallest numbers. So from my upper half of the information, which is right here, what do I have? I have 8, 8, so I'm going to erase this so you can see better. Whoop. I have 8, 8, 9, and 23. So what is left here for me to find the upper quartile? The upper quartile is going to be 8 plus 9, which is 17, divided by 2. Here we go. 8 plus 9 divided by 2, which gives me 8.5. So my upper quartile is going to be 8.5, which is what? The median with this set over here, the upper half. Likewise, I do the same thing. What do I do? Lower quartile now. The median of the lower half. So my lower half is right here. 1, 2, 2, and 6. So I have to find what? The median of this information. The median here, I cut these 2. I am left with 2 and 2. Well, the correct way would be what? 2 plus 2, 4, divided by 2, 2. But since they are the same number, I already know that this is going to be 2. But I wrote it down just in case, so you see how it's done. Then I have to mark what? The greatest and the least values. Well, my greatest value, start erasing here. My greatest value is 23, and my lowest value is 1. So greatest value 23, lowest value or least value 1. What is my range? The range is the greatest number minus the smallest number. So I have them over here. 23. 23. Take away 1 is 22. Let me see if I did this. Yes. 23 minus 1, 22. And now the interquartile range. Well, the interquartile is going to be what? The upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So 8.5, take away 2, put it over here, 6.5. And now I have to find outliers. Outliers, the number or numbers that are much larger or smaller than the median. Well, my median here is 7. If I do the multiplication by 1.5 and everything like I showed you yesterday, I am going to see that the only number here that is actually the one that, is way far is 23. So the only outlier I have is the number 23. Okay, so now with all that information, I can start building my box and whisker plot. For me to build that, I need the information that was in the previous slide. So I wrote it down over here for you. So I have that the median is 7. So I come here on my number line. Look, this is my number line, and I mark number 7 right here. So this is my median. The upper quartile is 8.5, which is like right here in the middle. This is my upper quartile. My lower quartile is 2. So I come on my number line, find my number 2, mark it over here. So these 3 points here are the ones that are going to give me the box. I draw a box right here. So you see that the majority of the information is here, and just a little bit of the information is over there. But now I need what? My greatest and my least values. 23 right over here, and 1. 1 is right here. So look, this is my whisker, and look at this one, all the way to 23. So each one of these parts represent 25% of my data. The range is 22, which means what? From the greatest number, I take the lowest number, and the difference is 22. The interquartile range, 6.5. From 8.5, I take away 2, and I get the range from here to here. This is 6.5. That's my interquartile range. And then my outlier. Well, if we look at this, it's very easy to see that 23 is the outlier. Now I have another example. All right, for this example here, what I did is, the box and whisker plot below represent the test score for a certain class. Based on this information, we're going to find the lowest score, the highest score, the median, the upper quartile, and the lower quartile. So let's see what we have here. The lowest score. The lowest score is easy to identify. It is the lowest number. And the highest score, also easy to identify, the highest number. So the lowest number here, this is 50. I'm not sure this is very clear. 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So 50, this mark here is in 51. So my lowest score here is 51. So the student that got the lowest score got 51. The highest score over here, nobody got 100 in this test. Here, 98. So this is 98. The median is this number right here. See, it's represented already in the graph for you. So this is 85, take away 1 here, this mark here is 84. So the average or the median of the class was 84, not the average but the median. The upper quartile is this number over here, which is 91. And the lower quartile is this number right here, which is 65, 66, 67. So with a graph like this, I can find all this information. All right, so now we have to find a little bit more information. What is the range in the test score? Well, the range is what? The highest grade minus the lowest grade, which is 98, the highest grade, take away 51, which is 47. And which quartile shows the great spread of the data? So which one has the most information, like where did most of the students have their grades? So we see that this part here is where the students got the greatest spread of data. So we would say that it is in the lower quartile. Now let's see the last example for today. The last example for today is make a box and whisker plot from the data. So here's the data: 12, 12, 13, 15, 25, and 28. So let's see. The median. How do I find the median again? The median is the number in the middle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two, cut. I have two numbers in the middle. If I have two numbers in the middle, what do? I do the average between them. I did it here for you. 13 plus 15 is divided by 2 is 14. So 28 divided by 2, 14. The smallest number. So here we go. Let me just erase this and put that here. Is my median, which is 14. Now I want the smallest and the greatest values in my data. So the smallest one is 12. And the greatest one, oh, time to go. And the greatest one is 28. So 28. Numbers are 12 and 28. So now I have to find what? The upper quartile. Well, upper quartile is what again? The median in the upper half of my information. Since I have three numbers here, the median is easily spotted and it is 25. The lower quartile, again, my lower half right here, and I have to find the number right in the middle. The median here, which is 12. So now with this information, I can build my plot right here. Let's start with the median. The median is 14. So I come to my number line, 14, I mark it right here. So the smallest and greatest values. The smallest one, 12. The greatest one, 28. 25. Lower quartile, also 12. So I have everything right here. So here we go, building the box. This is going to be one huge box. Right here. 1, 2. See, there's no whisker on this side because there's nothing left here. My lowest number is also my lower quartile, so they coincide. So there's no whisker on this side. Look at this. Now I need to go to my upper quartile, from the upper quartile to the highest number, which is 28. Here I have my box and whisker plot. So look at this. Now, homework for today. Page 601 in the book. Problems 2, 4, 6, and 17. Please show your work. I will see you tomorrow.